Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our third day of Gustavo's Soup Extravaganza. Okay, an idea that I got one day. I thought, why not just try 5 days of delicious soups? And because soups have so much water and intact fiber in them, and of course, they can have starch, which keeps us full, and uh, it gives us the fuel that we need. Then it's a perfect type of food. And besides that, we can try new soups, perhaps that you haven't tried, and you can have them in your repertoire of soups for later on. And if you have any leftovers, these soups can be frozen so they can be enjoyed at a later time. One day when you just don't feel like cooking, okay? Or one day where you can just take a bowl of soup somewhere where you're going, and you can be sure that you have something that is compliant and healthy, and it won't get you derailed. Okay, so I do hope that you're having fun and enjoying the soups, and maybe even experimenting, okay, with these recipes. These recipes are mostly a way for you to begin thinking, turning the wheels, and just making them your own by adding or adjusting ingredients or spices that will suit your taste. Okay, so I do want to, while we wait for a few more people, because I notice that sometimes we have some late comers. Let me just do a mini commercial here, because it took 2 years of my life and my friend Shada's life to write this book. So I just want to tell you something about this. I know many of you have already gotten it, but Shada is an amazing. Shada is one of the authors together with me. Shada Soleimani is an expert in plant-based Persian cuisine, Persian slash Iranian cuisine. And of course, she has a business in real estate in California, but she is an amazing coach and an incredible cook. Okay, and I am also, a specialist in whole food plant-based nutrition, and have experimented with Argentine food, besides American and Mexican and Italian and Spanish. So that we put this book together with a lot of joy, and hopefully a way to help many people. And it is called Live Your Healthiest Life. Okay, it is now available on Amazon. And let me take everybody in here. Okay, it is now available on Amazon. I'll give you the link in just a minute, but you can go to Amazon and type my name or Shada's name or the title of the book, and you'll get there. And we both think, and actually, we got endorsements by just about every plant-based doctor and chef, and we're extremely honored to have that. And of course, our dear friend Chef AJ wrote the foreword. So everybody said this to us. Well, when we gave them the first draft of the book, they said that this is a very unique book because it's more than a cookbook. It's kind of a storybook that takes you on our journey, the journey that Shada and I had. And as you read our stories, she was born in Switzerland, but with her mom moved to California when she was a child, from Iran. And I moved to the United States from Argentina also when I was young. And he tells the story of these two people that didn't know each other and that gained a lot of weight at one point in our lives following, the ultra processed diet. And then it tells the story of how we lost it and how we regained our health. So while the story is developing, you get recipes there. And you can see how they come from our lives. And so they're truly unique recipes. And then the other part of the book is all very delicious recipes. So I hope that you'll take a look at it, that you'll help us. I think it's not expensive. It's $20 for the book. And that helps us to continue creating free programs like this and free classes and free cooking demos. And we will appreciate your support. But besides that, we kept 10 of our best recipes for a gift for those of you to say thank you. So somebody designed a beautiful PDF that is called Shada's and Gustavo's Secret Persian and Argentine Recipes. Shada shares 5 Persian rice recipes, and I share 5 Argentine dessert recipes. And so when you purchase the book, all you have to do is send the proof of purchase to this email that I'll tell you is called lyhl bonus@yahoo.com, and then you'll get this beautiful PDF. So thank you, really appreciate it. I wanted to mention that, and I'm going to put here the link to the Amazon place. And let me just type it also, live your healthiest life bonus at yahoo.com. And once you send the email there with the proof of purchase, you'll get the PDF. All right. So now that I think most of us are here, let's dive into today's soup recipes. Remember that the key to weight loss is mostly eating a lot of fiber and water. For those of you focusing on weight loss, remember this. This is a big secret right here. Try having a bowl or 2 bowls of the weight loss soup. Remember, before you eat your main starchy meal, whatever it is, veggie lasagna, I don't know, mashed potatoes, baked sweet potatoes with broccoli, whatever your main starch meal is, before that, have a nice bowl of soup or a huge salad. That way, your stomach will be full of water and fiber, and the total calorie density of your food for that meal is going to be considerably lower, which is going to help you accelerate your weight loss journey. In a lot of these programs that I have attended, including the McDougall program and the True North program and many others, the all-you-can-eat buffet that is set up for every meal always starts, it's sequenced. It starts with a salad, and then it goes to maybe steamed veggies or soups or stews, and then it goes to the main course. Okay, so there is a reason for that. And if you can get used to doing that, you will see big results and faster results. But beyond weight loss, our goal with this whole food, plant-based, pretty much unprocessed way of eating is to help you maintain a high quality of life for as long as possible. I like what Ann Esselstyn, Dr. Esselstyn's wife, says. She says this: I want to live long and die fast. Remember that. I think that should be the goal for all of us. We want to live long, or however long we want to live, and die fast. That means not have a painful death that lasts 10, 15, 20 years of your last 20 years of life. Being able to live fully functional, enjoying your loved ones and your friends, being able to travel if you like traveling, and doing the activities that you love to do, instead of being bedridden, dealing with chronic diseases and the complications that they bring. Remember that while we cannot control everything, because now there are toxins in the air, in the water, in the food, there is stress. We can control what we eat and what we drink and how we sleep and exercise and how we manage stress. Those things we can actually have either full control or a lot of controls. There is no point in stressing about the things that you cannot control. So instead, focus on what you can, which is starting with what is, I don't have a fork here, but what is at the end of your fork or what is at the end of your spoon, you can control. And that's going to make a huge difference. If you haven't already, you need to consider at least joining a supportive community, whether it is one of those free Facebook groups or perhaps a meetup group that is plant-based, that maybe meets once a month, or a program like this one. I try to offer free programs every now and then, or community support, because community support is what I have found out to be the number one way, reason to have success, even more than environment, although both of those are at the top. The environment will predict your success, and also being part of a supportive group. Also, remember, there are other ways to be part of a group. Sign up for my free email list so that we can stay in touch. You can do that from my website, plantemas.com. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that little notification bell, because every time I will put a cooking demo there, you will know. Go ahead and like my Facebook page that is called The Starch Solution, but you have to put Dr. Starch, and you have to spell the word Dr. Starch on Facebook, and you will land on my page that is called The Starch Solution. And I also do a lot of cooking demos, and I put free information there. And maybe consider participating in my upcoming 7-day detox, reboot, and reset program that starts on September 23rd. Okay, so we've got to have very clear in our heads and in our hearts that without health, there is no amount of wealth that can save us. Choose health, focus on health, even more than weight loss. I have found that a lot of people that stress about weight loss, they start to lose weight again once they shift, their attention to health, to improving their health. So we've got to stop feeding that fire that is causing inflammation throughout the body by eliminating those foods that create the fire in the first place, which is excessive animal products, free oils, that means oils that have been stripped off the water and fiber, ultra-processed foods. Instead, we want to enjoy delicious whole foods, vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, beans, rice, fresh herbs and spices. All of that can give us just delightful food. All right, so let's move on to any questions or comments that you might have. I'm all ears, so I'm going to be reading here your questions and comments. And as I read, if you'd like to unmute and ask any questions, you feel free to do.
I wrote it in the chat, but I have these leeks that I purchased to make one of these recipes, and they're giant. I mean, they're 2 feet long and they're beautiful. But what can I do with the green parts? The recipe only calls for the white parts. Is there anything that we can do with the green parts. I hate to throw them away.
Sure, good question. Yes, I chop them as small as possible. I chop them because sometimes if you go to the very end of the green part, the green part, it's kind of tough. But I chop it really well, and then I chop maybe a little bit of onion, and I sauteed on water. Remember that we don't use oil to saute, so I sauteed, and then I throw in some spinach or kale or Swiss chard, broccoli or whatever, and it just adds another flavor to it. So you can saute, and then also you can add it in more to almost any soup that I gave you this week, almost any. You can add it to that. I find that leeks add a lot of flavor to food. So those are the ones I do, but I don't know. Maybe others here have other. I've never put them in a salad, for example. I've never eaten raw. Anybody else that have ideas? Please type it or say it. But that's what I do. Okay. Yeah, you can also if you make your own vegetable broth, which I highly recommend because sometimes it is hard to find salt-free vegetable broth. You can use the green part of the leeks to add more flavor to your broth. Are you saying salad first? I felt very bloated waking up, and anyone recommends? Well, for some of you, you see, I am giving you a lot of fiber this week. So fiber is something that the body, a lot of the fiber that we eat in this week is not really digested, but it is there for the purpose of that is so that it will clean the insides. So if you feel bloated, it may be because you're not used to having so much fiber in your system. It will get better. So in that case, I suggest to add fiber a little bit at a time. It's just that this week, because I'm doing the 5-day program, it kind of went in all at once. And also, beans have a lot of fiber. So you might want to start with 1/4 cup of beans, and then in a couple of days, do a 1/2 cup of beans, and then in 3 or 4 days, do a 3/4 cup of bean, just so that your body will get used to all of this wonderful fiber. I'm saying that before you eat your main starchy meal, and this is what I've found that has helped most of the people that I coach, is having something that is basically it's not 0 calories, but it's almost there. And by that I mean eating either a salad before your main meal. Make sure that the salad doesn't have starch. Like, don't add beans or rice, or don't add extra fat by adding olives or avocados. Have that first. Have a salad first, a big one, or have a bowl of soup. And if you want to have both, hey, that's even better. Now, after saying that, I have to say that sometimes a salad can be your main meal, like I often do, because to a salad, I add beans, and sometimes I add lentils, cooked lentils, or rice. So then the salad becomes the main meal because it has starch in it. But what I'm recommending this week, if you really want to get a little ahead in losing weight, is to having a salad or a soup with no starch, and then have your starchy meal. Okay. Can anyone recommend group support for this? Okay. You just go to, if you have Facebook, you will find a lot of, you can type whole food, plant-based, and it'll give you groups. You can type McDougall groups, you get McDougall. You can type mine, which is Dr. Starch spelled out. And And then you can go to meetup.com and type there whole food plant-based groups. It'll give you groups in your area. Sometimes you might be surprised that in your area, once a month, you all have a meetup where everybody takes a dish. You can get to know people and enjoy a whole food plant-based buffet. Are there pictures of all the recipes? No, not in the book, because believe it or not, I learned a lot about publishing a book doing this first book. Adding pictures to a book increases the cost like 10 times. This book would be way more expensive if it had pictures with it. So being our first book, we could not include pictures in the book. What we're doing, Shada and I are doing, is we're doing cooking demos on our YouTube channels and Facebook pages, and we are putting pictures there. So that's something that you can, and soon we kept track of all of you who have been sending emails for the PDF, the bonus PDF of the book. Soon we will start doing webinars and cooking demos with the recipes from this book, and we will invite you. Okay, there's obviously that's free. The soup recipe does say white and light green parts. I think that the leeks are included in several soups, if I'm not mistaken. So otherwise, just add it, like I said, or sauteed with other greens. I have lost 39 pounds with Gustavo's 7-day group. Yes, Lorraine, you have done great. And a lot of people in the 7-day program lose a very considerable amount of weight. Okay. All right. Anything else? Any questions? I'm here for you, everybody. Anything that you want to ask that in general?
There is the first question. It says that they didn't have enough flavor in one of the soups, and what would you suggest to make it more flavorful?
Oh, okay. I missed that one. I'm sorry. So this is highly personal, personal, how we want the flavor of the food. Here are my basic spices, I guess, and herbs. Adding garlic powder and onion powder. Start with a teaspoon. It's better to start with less and keep adding than add too much. So onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, and the magic one, smoked paprika, will make any meal taste, like a 5-star meal. So those are my basic. Today, in a couple of hours, I am interviewing the owners, husband and wife, of local spicery. And we'll talk about how to make food even more flavorful. If you want to attend, it's a free webinar that I'm doing. And again, if you cannot attend live, remember that when you register, then you will get the replay. So I'm going to put it right here so that if you want to register for this webinar, we'll talk about spices in general and the spices they have and the spice mixtures that they make. And then tomorrow, Thursday, I will go ahead and talk about spices as well, because I know that that is a topic of interest for many of you. So I will do that tomorrow. With every cooking demo, it would be nice to highlight a skill or technique used. Just a thought, not everyone. Yes, I agree. Thank you for saying that. We will keep that in mind for sure. Red pepper flakes and a squirt of acid like lemon or lime. This is very true. It sounds so simple, but adding like a tablespoon or maybe 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice and the zest of a lime or a lemon to a soup or a salad, it brings out flavors that you didn't know they were there. So that's something to keep in mind. That can help a lot. Okay. Benson's Table Tasty is a very good mix of spices that not only gives flavor to anything you do, including salads, anything you make, but it also is a salt substitute because they have picked vegetables and spices that taste salty, but without the sodium. Okay. Miso is also good. Also some low sodium sauces. Yeah, different. Just you've got to read the label there. Some of these, things like miso or yeah, other type of sauces, they do have a good amount of sodium, so just watch out. Okay, but that's a good idea. Yeah.
You know what I really love is fresh parsley. So I will just add a ton of chopped up fresh parsley to soups. Sometimes that just really adds an additional little
Yeah,
twang
yeah.
that it's good enough for me.
I've learned to use parsley in the last couple of years, actually. Parsley is one of the greens in the list of greens that Dr. Esselstyn provides us with to keep our arteries healthy. So adding fresh parsley, I like to chop it very small, adding it to soups and stews, and even a little bit on salads. It brings up, brings out a lot of flavor as well, and it is a very healthy green. Now, the Benson's Table Tasty can get hard like a rock, like one of you said here, and it's happened to me. And I noticed that it's because I was sprinkling it when I opened the lid on of a soup or stew or on the bowl, and there on of a bowl of soup, and there was steam coming up, and it was getting inside. So now what I do is I take a spoon of the Table Tasty, and I close it. I close the container, and then I sprinkle it or whatever, and it's working much better. Okay. The other thing is that from time to time, with the tip of a knife or something, just break it up every other day or so, because that can be a problem. It can be kind of annoying. Let me give you some ideas about two things to help you get to your weight loss goal. Okay, first of all, be patient. This is a process. Unfortunately, it's much faster to gain weight than to lose it. You all know this. We all know it. Be patient. Give yourself time. I like to say, avoid weighing yourself every day, because weight, like blood pressure, for example, goes up and down. We're looking at the general tendency. So it's better to weigh once a week or even once a month. And that way you can focus on what's important, which is your health and your weight. So that's one thing. But here are two things that are very concrete. Number one, have starchy meals, because we all know that without starch, we're doomed to fail. We need the starch for fuel, for satiety, and for the nutrition that we need. The thing is, try adding soup that has no starch, or a salad that has no starch. Remember that. And number two, if at all possible, stop eating by 6 or 7 p.m. And if it is possible, also delay your breakfast a couple of hours. Delay it. If it is possible, if you're starving and you're dizzy and you just cannot wait to eat your breakfast, go ahead and eat it. But many times we eat breakfast because it's breakfast time, but we're not really hungry. Delaying the breakfast a little bit will help you burn a little bit more fat, because your body has not been eating all night, and maybe it's switching to what we call ketosis, which is when the body starts burning fat for fuel instead of um, um, carbohydrates for fuel. So those are just some strategies that you might try. Okay, these are things that we try and that we try for a while. Once you get to your desired weight, maybe you don't have to do those things anymore. But those are ideas that I've seen work. Now, let me say something about cooking your food, because we go to the market, we spend time getting there, we spend gas, we spend money buying the best food we can, we carry it back home, we clean it, we cook, we cut it, we chop it. I mean, all of that. And then some of us, and I include myself in the past, we were destroying most of the nutrients in that food. So please try to cook your food between 187 to 198 Fahrenheit, or if you use centigrades, between 86 and 92, because once the heat goes above 212 Fahrenheit, that is the boiling point, or 100 degrees centigrades, that's the boiling point, a lot of the heat sensitive nutrients get damaged or destroyed. And so we spent all that time and money, and then we come home and we destroyed the food. So try to cook at lower temperatures, and maybe invest in a food thermometer. Okay. Also, another way to keep the nutrition in your food is avoiding the peeling of some vegetables and fruits. Of course, some things we have to peel. I mean, I'm not going to eat a banana with a peel, but carrots, sweet potatoes, apples, most of the nutrients, or a big part of it, is in that 1 millimeter between the peel and the actual flesh of the food. So wash it really well, and eat. Use the peel. Use the skin. So temperature, peel, and another thing is avoiding the use of a lot of water when cooking, because sometimes we cook with a lot of water, we dump the water in the sink, and the sink ends up being the healthiest member of the family. And so cooking with little or no water will keep the nutrients in your food. And then finally, the last thing I want to say about being careful with how you cook the food is test your cookware. I tried doing that for 11 years, and I really didn't. I got a lot of confusing answers. I tried to keep changing my cookware often, but you want to know that your food is not interacting with the metal of your pots and pans. Nothing from the pots or pans should go into the food. You shouldn't be eating any of those heavy metals. Okay, so just if you have questions about that, I've become a sort of an expert. I'm still studying and learning more about that. But if you would like to do a quick test of your pots and pans for toxicity, send me an email and I'll tell you how to do it. And hopefully that will help keep your food clean. Okay, so I find hot green tea in the morning makes it easier to delay breakfast. Yes. Also, having that nice glass of water, whether it is at room temperature or a little bit warm, will fill you up and delay breakfast as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is a handout that has the plan for the 5 days. If you have not gotten that, you can email me. And my email is info@chemist.com. Okay. So you can email me there. Let me make sure that I wrote it correctly. Okay. Thank you for your recipes and all the tips you give us. Sure, anything I can do to help. I know how frustrating it can be to want to do this and either not know how or feel stuck or have no support. It's frustrating. So anything I can do to help you, I'll be glad to do. Well, I hope that your day goes well. Enjoy the soups, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And okay, everybody, thank you again. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.